Okay, ready? Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the January 18th, 2024 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Ms. Greenwell.
Here.
Mr. Klein.
Here. Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
sir.
The number 4, the approval of the minutes of the meeting of January 11th, 2024.
Motion to approve those minutes.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 5 is bid openings. I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Mr. Button.
Good morning to the board. I have two items for your consideration that came in after the cutoff for today's meeting. The first is a bid recommendation for the right turn lane at Hammond Avenue in Sibley. This is the north approach, so coming off the bridge southbound. We're creating, as part of the downtown master plan that Jeff Speck had envisioned for the city, southbound would have a right turn lane that would turn onto Sibley to bypass downtown because we're narrowing the streets and providing parking and making a walkable community. So that's what this project's for. The low bidder was Reith Riley in the amount of $442,146, which was about $50,000 below the engineer's estimate. And I have that for your consideration. I'd ask for your approval of this recommendation so we can award this agreement to Reith Riley.
Dean, just a quick questions, just for the record. These were public bids?
Yes, sir. Public
And,
bids.
Did we receive other bids? Or is it-
Yes, we received bids from Milestone and Gary Up
Again, they were open publicly and,
at the last meeting.
Yes. Okay.
oh, that's why I wasn't at the last.
Yep, yep.
Motion to accept Reef Riley's bid for $4,442.46. $442,146.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second item I have for you today is an agreement with the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District, or NICD. The agreement that the city has with NICD is to make way for the new train, basically. And we have agreed to vacate certain streets in order to accomplish that. And that's all in an agreement that we approved some years ago. Part of the project requires the vacation of Marble Street between Sheffield and Wabash so that they can construct their maintenance facility at that location. In exchange for that, and as part of the agreement, NICD would construct a new road paralleling Marble Street to the north, just south of the existing CSX tracks in an alignment that was once called Almond Street. And they have done that, and they're willing to allow us to use that new street until it can be dedicated as a public right-of-way. So there's indemnification by NICD to allow us to use that street. We would be still responsible for doing snow removal, but any repairs or maintenance to that new roadway would be done. But this allows NICD to move forward with their project and completion of their maintenance facility, and I ask for your approval of the agreement between NICD and the city for a new roadway and preparations to vacate Marble Street.
Motion to approve the agreement as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Button. Any other matters from department heads or their representatives? Okay, moving on to correspondence. Number 7, correspondence letter A. Correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of the petitions for retirement for Lieutenant Daniel Miskus, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 41 years, Captain Patrick McKechnie, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 37 years, Sergeant Kerry Newman, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 36 years, and Sergeant John Peck, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 35 years, all effective at the close of business March 18th, 2024. The petition for retirement for Sergeant Mark Cruz, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 35 years, effective at the close of business May 25th, 2024. The petitions for retirement for Lieutenant Mike Daniels, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 41 years, Lieutenant John Doty, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 32 years. That's not correct. He served longer than that, for sure. And Lieutenant Dave Carter, who has served as citizen of Hammond for 33 years, all effective at the close of business, May 26, 2024. And the petition for retirement for Lieutenant Billy Hedgepath, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 33 years, effective at the close of business, May 31st, 2024. Altogether, that's over 320 years of service to the citizens of Hammond, and I just want to tell them all I appreciate it.
Motion to approve Chief Short's request.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to letter B, correspondence received from Engineering Department requesting approval from McCoy and Sons Towing to remove and dispose of a 2006 Chevy Impala for $450 from City Hall parking lot.
The $450 is the residual cost of the vehicle, so they're paying us the residual. Just wanted to clarify that. We'd ask for your approval.
Gotcha.
Motion to approve this request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter C, correspondence received from First Group Engineering recommending the bid for the 2023 Hammond Community Crossing Project, 169th and Summer Street, be awarded to Reith Riley Construction, who has the lowest bidder in the amount of $1,587,365.40.
City received a $1 million grant from the for the Indiana Department of Transportation to fund our community crossings project. It's a 50-50 match, $1 million from the state, $1 million local funds. Obviously, it's a less than $2 million, so it's some prorated portion of that because the bids came in under what we expected. For the record, this is Summer Street between the Boulevard and 165th, and 169th from Southeastern to Northcott. Those are the two projects that we selected under this. These bids were open last week and read aloud publicly, and I'd ask for your approval to award Reith Riley this agreement, or award the contract to Reith Riley.
Gotcha.
Motion to approve this request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter D, correspondence received from Ron Novak requesting to close Sheffield Avenue between 129th and 131st Place and the bike path between those streets for the private contractor for Dover Chemicals to operate safely and prevent damage to the bike path. Good morning, Ron.
Morning. There's a water line leak there that's also tied in with a contamination issue on that site. And temporary barricades were put up in the street, and what we're seeing is residents or travelers through the city avoiding those barricades and using the bike path, which is going to destroy that particular area. So this is a request to make sure the street is closed between 129th, 131st Place, all the way to the bike path so that they can safely do the repair out there.
Okay. So we need to forward this to Street Department?
Yeah, Public Works, and I
Public Works.
would also notify the Port Authority as well, just so they know.
Gotcha.
Motion to approve this request and to forward to Public Works and the Port Authority for follow-up.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Letter E, correspondence received from Jaquera Calvert requesting to be placed on the agenda for property located at 28 to 34 Ruth Street. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Jakira Calvert. I am the owner of...
Can you do me, can you try to, you can pull that mic down a little bit towards you?
Sure.
There you go.
I'm the owner of the Viability, and we are here in regards to the property located on 28 through 34 Ruth Street. In regards...
I just have a question, if I could. So 2834 Ruth is under demolition order. The Viability has no ownership interest in it, unless, I'm sorry, your name, ma'am, I missed it.
Jakira
Last name?
Calvert.
Calvert, Miss Calvert, has any proof of that. I can just let you know that the notices that are about to go out for the demolition bids are not going to the Viability LLC. The title work we have is not in that name. It's in a name of a Garmond Properties at a post office box at the South Hammond Post Office, which I know to be associated with Mr. Ratliff from the Viability because of some other properties that they own in the city. Garmond Properties LLC also has a registered agent in Fort Wayne. There's a Jackie Crawford, who was the last deed from Jackie Crawford to Garmond Properties. and that's all we have. I've also checked the recorder's website and recorder to see if there was any transfers. There's been no transfers since 2021. So in our records, the Viability LLC, which Ms. Calvert's indicated she is, I guess, a member or manager of, we don't show having an ownership interest.
We do actually have a purchase and sales agreement with the owner of the property.
And who's the owner, and where's the purchase and sale agreement? 'Cause
I
I don't have that, and that doesn't also, by the way, I could draft a purchase and sale agreement and have it signed, and that could say closing in 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, the purchase agreement could go away. So again, I understand that they may have a potential ownership interest, which is great, but at this point, I don't think it's accurate to say I'm the owner of the property, because we don't show that.
Ma'am, you said, Ms. Culver, you said you have the agreement with, do you have it with you?
I do. My assistant is working on redacting some of the sensitive information in the agreement.
Okay, so as of today, you still don't have anything that we can see that proves
I
that you're
have
the
it
owner?
right here in a text message, actually.
Okay. You want to look at that, or does it?
Yeah, I don't know if there's sensitive information in it that she doesn't want me to see. I don't know if that could be.
Let me just make sure it was redacted.
That's okay, yeah. And just as an aside, I know Mr. Ratliff showed up last week. He's given us an email address that I've been trying to communicate with him on both this property and another property that I know the Viability does have an interest in. It's on Chestnut. We have a tax deed issue going on, and he's trying to kind of pay the back taxes so they can build a house there, which is great. But the email I have for him keeps bouncing back. So if there's a better email for Mr. Ratliff, and if Ms. Calvert knows it, I would appreciate it so I can actually send him the information he needs for the Chestnut Street address.
Sure, we can get that to you.
Yeah. That's him right
This
there.
information isn't correctly redacted, but this is a preliminary review.
Whoa, okay. I feel like I'm reading an FBI redaction. So that's what I
Is there
got.
any way you guys
gotcha.
can put it on the screen?
No, they don't need to do
I wonder
that.
if we can screen share. Can
Because
we
it wasn't-
mirror this, Jake? Do you know?
It wasn't fully redacted. I don't think it needs to be put on the screen.
I wonder if it'll let us mirror.
We don't need to mirror that.
Okay. we don't
Thank you.
mirror this.
Is this Mr. Ratliff? You were here
Yes,
last
I'm
week.
Jason.
Oh, hi, I didn't
Yeah.
recognize you there
Yes,
under the
how you
hat.
doing?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Jason Ratliff, yes.
So do you know if you gave the correct email address last week?
I did.
It's
You know
bouncing
what?
We've been
back.
having issues,
It's
yeah,
bouncing back.
yeah, it's, we just started having those issues with that email address, like 2 days ago. But, I have the correspondence between me and Kevin, and, I've been contacting them, periodically, often, and, I think I have one response from you.
I have about 3, but they keep getting bounced
Okay.
back.
I know I call your office all the
Yeah,
time.
but
the
I want
secretary
to do it in
never calls
writing.
me back.
So, yeah, instead of calling you, I've been trying to email you that
Okay.
email.
So, Mr. Ratliff, are you saying that the issue with the email is settled now? That it will go
I got
through?
another one for him.
You got
I
another email address?
Better
Okay.
email address for you.
So the issue I have with this, and thank you, Ms. Calvert, is that it doesn't list the seller. The seller's blacked out. So I can't even tell if
Well, it
it's our
says
current
the
seller.
owner of 28 through 34 Ruth Street.
I could put Kevin Smith on there, and I would say to you, Kevin Smith doesn't own the 28.
Well, how about I can show you the agreement, but it's not for public record.
So what I would do if you want me to do that, because once I get it, it can be asked for in public record, so I would just have you show it to
That's
me,
what I'm-
yeah, and
yeah,
then that way
suggesting.
I never possess it.
Right, that's what I'm suggesting.
It's fine. I mean, I could look at it, I can't say that I'm gonna agree with the fact
Right,
that
no, I
there's an
understand.
ownership interest, but I'm happy to review it.
Okay, so when will this review happen? Right now, or
No, I don't want to
afterwards?
delay things. I mean, if Ms. Calver wants to present under the understanding that we believe she may become the owner at some point, I'm happy to allow her to proceed. I just want to make sure the record's clear kind of where we're at on ownership.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do? We need to set this for a week, next week or something?
So just so the board knows kind of where we're at, I'm sorry, I'm sitting down here.
It's okay.
Where we're at procedurally is there is a emergency demo order that was entered by Kelly, and then we went to a regular demolition order that was entered by the board and recorded, or is about to be recorded. I don't know if it is yet. It is? Okay, thank you. Recorded. Thank you, Linda. And then we have a bid opening set for February 15th, in which the notices are about to go out. I know that because they're sitting on my desk. And the bid, I believe, opening is set for February 15th to get bids on the property. I know that at that point, Mr. Kearney will review the bids, and then we'll, of course, issue a recommendation on award of the bids for demolition. There's a significant concern regarding the western part of this building. I think you've seen the drone footage.
We did.
And so, there you go, thank you, whoever put that up. As you can see at the, you guys can see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
I mean, I don't know how, I'm not a construction guy, so I would be interested to hear from somebody who is, whether or not that can be rehabilitated and the cost therein, because to me it looks like millions of dollars, if not, but yeah. And there's significant damage on the roof, even on the east side. So we have concerns about the residents to the west, where we have had to build the plywood wall just to protect them. So it's a significant concern, it's a safety concern. I believe it fits right in with the Unsafe Building Act as a definition of an unsafe property. So, you know, we're moving post haste to get this down.
Well, to give them the best, what can they do or what should they do in the next week or two to?
So, of course, the statute allows for 10 days from the time this board entered the notice, or I'm sorry, entered the order to appeal to court. They can do that. I don't know. I'm just saying, I just don't remember when that 10 days would run. I can't really give legal advice to folks that I don't represent. After that, it's a final order. I'm assuming that the board would be happy to, the board has modified these orders before. So if the board wants to hear out Ms. Calvert, we have no objection to that. But, I think you all know where the city stands on this.
Well, I think we want to give you every opportunity to present that you are the owner, you have a plan to fix the building or demolish it or whatever. What we don't want is we don't want to be fooled here. We don't want, the information with the email address last week, who owns it, who doesn't own it, information redacted. I want to make sure we're very clear on, you're the owner, and you have a plan, you have the funding, and you have a timeline that you're going to be able to get it done, because as Attorney Smith said, it's an emergency situation. The building might collapse at any time.
Absolutely, and we completely understand that it's an emergency situation, and that's why we're asking that the board considers to add a line item to the bid document stating, asking people to bid on the repair of the wall.
Can I interject really fast? I want to just say that that we do agree that it should be demolished if it poses a threat. But if the structure is, like you saw in the thing, it was just the west wall of the structure. But if the whole integrity of the building is still, solid and reliable, like she said, add the line item for it to be repaired instead of demolished, because that structure stands to bring a lot of revenue to the city and just to the community, period. So it would be, I think, in everybody's best interest if we try, if it's possible, to save the structure instead of demolish it.
Yeah, and I just would add that, bids are opening on February 15th. That's a good, I don't know, what is that, 4 weeks from today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if they would like to go ahead and try to get bids or look at, have somebody come in, a structural engineer, we're here every Thursday. And if they want to come in and get on the agenda every week for updates, I don't think we have an objection to that. We're just going to keep moving forward on our process, which is, hey, if they're not going to be able to save it or it can't be saved, we want to get bids on the 15th so that we can then award and knock it down.
Right.
So we've got kind of a 4-week period here where we can work with Ms. Calvert, and I can understand what the ownership situation is. It's not going to be a cheap repair. I would also indicate that the property at 2 Ruth is also owned by the same entity, or at least an associated entity, which is another kind of like about to be looked at for demolition as well. So I don't know if it's worth Ms. Calvert and her group's investment interest to maybe say 2834 Ruth ain't gonna be saved, let's focus on 2, or something like that. So I think it's a conversation that needs to continue to happen with Mr. Kearney's office and the inspections department and Ms. Calvert's group. But right now, there's nothing gonna happen until February 15th, because that's when we're getting bids. So that gives us some time to keep the communication lines open.
Well, I do have procurement experience. I worked for the city of Evanston for over 4 years in the purchasing department, doing all of the bids for public works, police department, fire department, things like that. So if you guys are going out to bid, if you are approving the bid notice to be published, in the notice, it should say the demolition or repair of or stabilization of 28 through 34 Ruth Street, not just the demolition. So we can have the option to see if the building can be repaired or if it does need to be demolished.
But ma'am, Ms. Culver, he just said you have 4 weeks to kind of
Well,
get
in
somebody
those-
in and see if that's possible.
And we get to choose kind of how we publish the bids, right? So the inspections department is decided that they are bidding for the demolition. So, and I believe, Mr. Kearney, you want to add, I mean, is it just the west side, is it the whole structure, what have you requested?
We have not been inside the east or southern sections of this property to judge if it's salvageable. We also need to be able to do an asbestos inspection to gain access. So if they can allow us access to get that, they can allow access to a contractor to come in and do the evaluation. Our position is we're going to move forward with the demolition because we have no interest in doing repairs. The city inspection department and the city is not in the rehab business. If they have a licensed contractor that wants to come in and start doing the work, then as long as they're licensed and able to do it, they actually have the ownership, proof of ownership, we move forward. It's in order to repair or demolish.
Can I object? I'm sorry, because the city of Hammond is not only, they're not either in the demolition business either. So if you're putting out a bid, what does it hurt the city to add a repair line item?
Because-
What does it cost the
Because the
city?
Unsafe Building Act then would require, so if we do work on the property, it's the city paying for it.
Right.
So the city would then pay for the repairs, lien the building, and the city's position is, we're not looking to repair the building.
Aren't you
We're
doing
looking
that
to demolish the
anyway?
building.
When you demolish the building, you'll be repairing it or demolishing it and leaning the owner? Isn't that
When we
what you're gonna do
demolish it,
anyway?
yes, we lien the owner.
So what difference? I'm just really, I don't understand the difference.
Because then we'd have to, then basically we're saying like, oh, okay, we'll repair it, we'll fix it up for you, here's your building back, and we just have a lien. So if you want to repair it, feel free to get any bids you want, present them to Mr. Kearney, he'll review them along with his team, and, let you know on whether he believes that's doable. But you're welcome to get bids to repair.
So you rather destroy the structure and leave an empty lot instead of?
I think, no, you have a month from right now.
Right.
To come up with a plan, funding, get somebody in there to do I don't understand, you're making it seem like
No.
we want to tear the building down.
Right.
We'd rather it be fixed, but you have to prove to us that you first own it, second of all, that you have a plan, and third of all, that you have funding. You have a month to do all that
I
stuff.
understand that, and
So
we appreciate it.
nothing's gonna happen in a month.
Absolutely, but
So-
I'm kind of baffled about why they would spend the money and demo it and lien the owner anyway.
Because it's a danger to the community.
Right, so why not repair the structure
How
if
would
it's
you like to live next door to
repairable?
that?
So if it's
We don't know if it's
repairable.
repairable.
Exactly.
That's what we need you guys to prove to us.
But
that it's
that's what we're
repairable.
asking you to do. We're asking for possibly a partnership where you guys can step in since you're already putting the bids out. You guys can also put a bid out to have someone to come and look at the structure to see to see what's going on and if we can save the structure.
Ms. Colbert,
I
the
don't
city's
see
not
what
gonna do it. The city's already gonna have to take the responsibility of paying for that to be torn down in the first place. To absolutely redo the building is gonna cost way more than tearing it.
We're not asking you to redo the
No,
building.
you're
We're
asking us
just
to
asking
make like an
you
agreement with you to kind of be partners.
or to see if it can even be saved.
And that's what we're asking them to do.
To just put it on the bid document, to get the bids in. Like, we're not asking to award anything. There can also be a stipulation in the bid that says we may not go with the repair, but why can't we get those bids in? And why can't the city help us do that?
But on the flip side, why can't you in the next month get somebody out and get a price?
Because you guys have already put in the order for demolition. So on February 15th, the bids are coming in, correct?
Ma'am, we do that all the time. We want to keep it going so it doesn't stop.
Exactly, I understand that. So in that process, why can't we add the repair so that we can keep it going and we can have both options?
The order is to demolish or repair. So we, as you
Exactly.
know, we've done thousands of these, or 1,000 probably. I don't want to say thousands, 1,000, right, over the last 12 years that we've all been sitting here. We are always open to the owner, if they own the property, the owner coming and saying, we want to repair it. Here's our rehab plan. We have a status property coming up, 5235 State Line. So they've been here 5 times. Every time they come and say, here's what we're doing, here's what we're going to do, we're working on the water line, we're doing this. That property was going to get knocked down too. It was the same situation. We were saying, like, you got to get a repair, we're going to knock it down. They came with a plan. We're about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 12 months later. We're still on status. They're still coming through. We haven't knocked the building down, and they're making progress. We put the onus on the owner to come to us with a plan. We're not in the rehab business, as Mr. Kearney mentioned. We want to save properties that the owner wants to save, but we're not going to sit back and allow the city to look poorly with vacant properties that are about to fall down, that have had fires in them, not that this one has, that are in danger to public health and safety.
We agree.
And so if they have a plan, let's see it. We'll look at it. We got 4 weeks. That's all we're saying.
We agree. The viability works alongside with our community community-based company, where we provide housing to at-risk individuals. So the viability will purchase homes that haven't been on the tax roll for years. The reason that you guys have even gotten taxes from those buildings on Ruth Street, have even collected tax money, was because of the viability. So what I'm suggesting, I understand that you guys are not in the rehabilitation business. You guys aren't in the demolition business either. But you guys have a greater capacity than we do. You have a greater capacity to reach more bidders than we do. We're just asking for your assistance in bringing in bids. And if the order was to demolition or repair, I don't understand why repair is not added as a line item.
Because the repair is on you to make that repairs, not us.
That's not what it says.
I understand that, sir, but we're just going back and forth now. You have a month. As we said, if you prove that you're the owner, get funding, get all the stuff, get a plan, I'm sure the city would then welcome a rehab agreement with you if you gave them a timeline that you were going to make repairs. That can all happen, but we're not changing anything today. We're going to go forward with the order. If you want to come back every week and give us updates and let us know where you're at, and if you're making significant progress every week, then the problem's fixed. I don't understand why we're going back and forth. We have no interest in rehabbing the property. The city doesn't. We never have, we never will. So that's kind of on you guys.
It's not rehabbing the property, it's just an emergency repair of the wall that's falling over is what we're asking.
Then, ma'am, what would stop every property owner in the city to put that onus on the city, and we do the repairs and all we do is put a lien on their house? They don't sell the house, we never get the money back.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
President. If they give us information that they have a contractor that's going to do the emergency repair of that wall, give it to us. We'll look at it. And then if Kelly and his team are in agreement, they'll say, okay, let's enter into this rehab agreement, we'll issue permits.
Right.
But at this point, we're just kind of going in circles.
No, we are. Yeah, we already did the construction of the wall to keep it from falling on the house.
We've already spent money.
So I hope that makes sense to you guys. You have a month. Start moving forward every week. If you want to come back, give us updates. We would love to see the building rehab. We would.
Absolutely. I just want to say that we understand the situation is dire and it is an emergency situation, but we just figured if you guys were going to lien the owner anyway, why not lien it to repair that portion of the structure. But like we mentioned, we are the viability, and that's what we do. We rehab blighted property. So like last week I said, I just needed time. So that's all we're here for.
We don't blame you for asking. I would ask too if I were you.
It just makes sense to me.
I understand, but we're not going to do that. So now you guys know what you have to do going forward.
Absolutely.
So please come back every week and give us a plan that works, and maybe we'll get through this.
All right.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, no action on that one. Moving on to letter F. Correspondence received from Dean Button, Capital Improvements Board, requesting $80,480 of CIB funding to be allocated for the safe streets and roads for all submitted for approval.
Last night, the Capital Improvement Board met to approve the next 5 actions, so they're coming to you for your consideration. This is sort of an administrative action. What's happening is the Capital Improvements Board and this board have approved the local match portion already, right?
Gotcha.
It's an 80-20 split. It's $100,600 a grant, and we funded the local match. We didn't fund the federal match. And so what's happening is we can't pay our bill because we don't have the money set aside in the purchase order. So it's sort of administrative. Controller Moore told us last night that this will show as sort of it's sort of a balance that's like a refundable, I guess you would say, right? So it's not costing the city any money at all. It's just an administrative action to keep track of and to be able to pay our bills as they come in, because of the federal reimbursement comes after the fact.
Gotcha.
So that's all we're trying to do here. No economic impact to the city. I'd request your approval of this action.
It was also signed by the controller and the mayor.
Motion to approve this request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter G,
Thank you.
correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $1,444,642.42 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Summer Street Reconstruction Drive, construction engineering, and observation submitted for approval.
Same situation here. We ran out of our local match. We need a purchase order to continue paying. There's no economic impact to the city. This is NERC federal highway funded costs, and so all we're doing is this administrative action. We'd ask for your approval of this.
It was also signed by the controller and by the mayor.
Motion to approve as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter H, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $22,710 of CIB funding to be allocated for the City Hall siren relocation submitted for approval.
City is working with a developer to immediately north of City Hall, Lions Commons, to construct a multi-unit retail facility to the north of us. Our existing tornado siren is on the property, and so we need to relocate that siren. If we move it within 400 feet, we don't have to jump through any FEMA or EMA hoops with county because it's still within the zone where it was. And so the proposal is to relocate the siren to MLK Park immediately east of the City Hall parking lot, and so I'd ask for your approval.
Motion.
It was also signed by the controller and the mayor.
Motion to approve as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Letter I, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $235,993.61 of CIB funding to be allocated for invoice number 6 to Northern Indiana Computer Transportation District. I'm guessing that's
Commuter.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's commuter. To accommodate downtown Hammond Station submitted for approval.
An ongoing agreement that the city has with NICD is to accommodate the new downtown Hammond train station. 2 actions were needed. One was to change the grade slope from vertical curve to flat in order to construct a parallel platform. And then one was the pedestrian tunnel at Russell Street, so people can access the train station, the future train station through the alignment of the train. So this, we agreed to this some time ago. The city committed to about $1 million of total improvements for this. This is a payment for that work that relates to the grade change, and so I'd ask for your approval of this action.
Okay. It was also signed by the controller and the mayor.
Motion to approve this request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter J, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $86,620.90 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Wabash Street widening submitted for approval.
In light of the new development that's happening on Marble Street, at 2024 Marble Street, the old Calumet Flexicor building, the city asked NICD to widen Marble Street to accommodate truck turn movements, and that's the majority of the cost for this. What remains is retainage, and when that invoice comes in, we'll pay that. It's about $91,000 all in, but this portion being funded by CIB was approved last night at the meeting. We'd ask for your approval today.
Okay. It was also signed by the controller and the mayor.
Motion to approve as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to number 8, matters from board members.
No,
Either of
sir.
you. Number 9, new business, letter A, certificate of self-insurance received from Controller's Office submitted for approval.
Motion to approve as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, workers' compensation contract renewal for January 2024 through January 2025 with Gallagher Bassett submitted for approval.
Yeah, just our annual contract with them. They've been doing a great job and would request to continue to work with them on this. We'd ask that it be approved.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, request for advertising dates of January 25th, 2024 and February 1st, 2024 with a bid opening of February 15th, 2024 for the demolition of properties located at 28 through 34 Ruth and 3323 165th Street submitted for approval.
Just as I previously noted, these are going out to bid, or at least 2834 Ruth is. The other property is city-owned property on at the old Station 8.
Gotcha.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, resolution and intergovernmental agreement with Hammond redevelopment to transfer property located at 5626 Walter Avenue submitted for approval.
This is in our Jacob Square project. It's a transfer to put it in place so that redevelopment can own it and do what they need to do with it.
Is anybody else supposed to sign it other than us? There's not a signature.
Oh, so our resolution is signed by us, and then
It goes-
redevelopment has the same resolution, and then we also need you to sign the intergovernmental agreement, which they're putting in front of. I think they may have done it last night, actually. If not, it's on the next
Gotcha.
meeting on the 6th. So-
Okay.
Motion to approve.
So we need to make sure that's on the agenda.
Sorry, second. Sorry.
It's okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, right-of-way permits. There's 4 of them received from engineering submitted for approval.
Channeling my inner Mark Borders this morning, we hope his speedy recovery. So you have 4 right-of-way permits to consider this morning. 2 are Comcast. 1 is immediately in front of the federal courthouse to run Comcast. I'm sorry, that second Comcast one escapes me, but it's minor work to be done by Comcast. The other 2 relate to a closing that this board had, one lane restriction and one closing that the board had heard before but was moved because of inclement weather. 165th at the NICD alignment, they're asking for on the 25th a lane restriction to accommodate some work, and then overnight on the 25th they are going to require just an overnight closure of 165th to do work within the street. This had been previously approved by the board, and we'd ask for your approval for the new date.
Okay, it doesn't have that date on here though, Dean. It has the 17th through the 18th.
Yeah.
So is the dates right that you gave?
It's the 24th and 25th.
Yeah, 165th, it
Yeah.
says 9 PM on Wednesday, the 17th through 5 AM Thursday of the 18th. So you're saying what date, what
Yeah,
is it?
it's not happening today.
So it's next week,
It's the 24th and 25th.
24th through the 25th?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I beg your pardon.
that's okay.
You might want to let them know to change their signs too, because the signs still say yesterday, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
The message board on Calumet does say the 25th, so
And so those are ones on Holman and 65th.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, I made the changes on here. so-
thank you. We'll make sure that Anthony is on
Oh, there he is.
the line, so
Okay.
he's hearing all this that's happening. So
Okay.
he'll
Okay,
make
good.
sure that we get it all corrected.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the right-of-way permits.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I wish Mark was here to cover me. And wish him well. Thanks.
Thanks, sir.
Letter F, disposal authorizations received from police department submitted for approval.
Motion to approve that request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter G, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety naming Thomas P. Baberton as its appointment to the Hammond Plan Commission.
Motion to approve the resolution as submitted.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Old business, number 10, letter A, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 1434 Sherman Street, submitted for approval.
Request its approval and set a status date based on the, should be at the top, hopefully.
April 11th,
So if we could have a status date near there.
before it or after it?
Right before is always great.
March 28th or April 4th?
Sure, April
April
4th. Or what does it expire, on the 11th?
Yeah, 11th.
How about the 11th?
Okay,
Good?
perfect.
Motion to approve the rehab agreement and set it for status for April 11th, 2024.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, status for 5235 State Line.
Old Judy's Music Store, as you know, there's a
Yes.
plumber issue. I appreciate everybody coming again. They've been very good at attending. My understanding is that they've taken your advice to look at potentially another plumber, and they just need some time to get one. Is that good? Yeah, and then with the cold weather, obviously, probably limited work a plumber could do in this type of stuff anyway. So if we could get 30 days as a status, and that'll give them time to get a plumber, I think.
Correct.
And then they'll come back, they'll tell us what plumber they have, and hopefully things will be moving.
We're going to do February 22nd or 29th?
29th.
29th.
February 29th.
Okay, leap day, leap year day.
Motion to set the matter for status for February 29th,
Thank you.
2024.
And I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter C, status for 6624 Missouri.
Last time we were here on 6624 Missouri was December 12th. Mr. Kearney presented. He let the board know that the electric was passed back in July and the rough was passed in October. Was set today for status. We do have some updated photos. Mr. Luter's reported that they're about 80% done, and so we'd request a 60-day status. And we think at that point it can come off, and we'll probably vacate the order and rescind it.
Is March 14th okay?
Sure.
Motion to set the matter for status for March 14th, 2024.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. The meeting's now open to the public. Chris?
I think it's an oxymoron. It's the same.
I agree with her.
I like
What she
you
just said.
too.
She said it perfectly clear. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.